If you happen to find yourself single and want to experience searching for a life partner online and on dating apps, I just happen to have a few tips that I wish I knew before joining dating apps and trying out online dating. I truly wish after watching my video you will skip the necessary heartbreaks that I went through before I changed my whole strategy at how I approached online dating. I can say this new strategy works because I'm engaged now. So it's been tried and proven to work. Hello there. Today I would like to talk about relationships, and to make things more interesting, I will dive into the topic of online dating. And because at some point we all find ourselves in a situation where we are alone, single, without a mate and or a partner, and thrown back into the dating pool, the dating circus. Some come out of that unscathed and with their prize to show and live happily ever after. But for some, it's a nightmare that they wish to bury and never to even bring it up in any conversations. So today, I'd like to address this from the perspective of someone who has been in that similar situation and lived to tell a tale, or rather a positive tale. It's almost hard not to notice a lot of modern societies are slowly moving away from what we view or what we class as the traditional and acceptable way of meeting a potential partner. This pattern is now being normalized a lot with Generation Z, and a lot of the millennials have also found their place, but the majority of them still have conflicting ideas about dating apps and are still resisting and finding it extra hard to adapt to the new reality of modern dating. So, online dating is a topic that most people still frown upon and makes a lot of people uncomfortable to discuss, especially as an option to search for love. The truth of the matter is, people will always resist change, no matter whether the change is geared towards their own good or not. People will always judge and resist that which they do not understand, and online dating is no exception. So, since the dawn of COVID and the lockdown, things never really went back to normal. It wasn't business as usual anymore, and a lot of things changed, and people slowly welcomed the changes, whether be it willingly or not. And a lot of jobs that could restructured, for instance, and the employees found themselves no longer required to travel to work, but to work from home instead, to save fuel, reduce traffic on the roads, to be eco-friendly, etc. The list or the reasons are endless, really. But in simple terms, we adapted. Adaptation is a fundamental concept when it comes to mankind evolving. Adaptation is essential to growth and development. And although we were still in lockdown, however, life still had to go on and people still had to date. And that's when suddenly online dating and dating apps became so popular. The only sure way to meet new people, date, and just be normal was really through dating apps. And now, here we are, discussing about dating apps and online dating. There was a rise in the number of people that signed up for online dating apps during COVID or during lockdown, and everyone had extremely different reasons for joining. As you would agree, is the same even in the traditional dating setup. Everyone has a motive, an intention for why they're looking for love, for a partner, and it is not always for good intentions. We all know this happens even in the outside world. So now that lockdown is history and people can now go out and meet in the outside world, we still find that online dating preference still lingers heavily. And I have a couple of pros that I can pull on top of my head without dwelling too much on that topic. So, one, options are endless. Online dating options are endless. And two, does not limit you to your social circle, as it takes you outside the confines of your average day-to-day group of people that you interact with on a normal day-to-day basis. Three, meeting someone in a bar is not really common anymore, as people tend to hang out with people that they already know. Their day-to-day social groups, or they will be on their phones anyway, living little to no chance to strike up a conversation with a complete stranger. And besides, people are more conscious now and will avoid being openly rejected, especially in public, by a stranger who doesn't like them back. Number 4, most importantly, in this new era, straight up walking to a girl to express your interest will be judged as straight up harassment, and a lot of people would rather avoid that completely and not get involved at all. Therefore, the only sure way, or the only option that really remains in this day and age that makes more sense, is finding a potential partner online. But there is a lot of negativities and a lot of apprehension surrounding this option. What it really looks to me, to be honest, is just like one bad apple, okay, or one bad fish completely ruining the rest of the bunch. All you need is one person with a bad online dating experience to ruin the entire reputation. That's all you need, one person. The others don't really need to experience or have that experience at all. They don't need to have an experience in online dating at all for them to judge or to pass judgment about what online dating experience is like. An opinion is like a virus, especially a bad opinion is like a virus, and it spreads like wildfire. It is the fear that is normally attached to such rumors that make them, or that makes negative opinions so attractive and magnetic that people just want to run with the story, with the rumor, even if they don't have a clue what it is that they're running with. They will happily share someone's negative experience and opinion, but most often are more likely to withhold positive experiences from others. I don't know, maybe because there's nothing interesting to tell with positive experiences. There's no scandal, basically. Or we're just used to the drama that comes with sharing a negative experience. It's like we naturally gravitate to low vibration energies and things that makes us fearful. And I don't know, but there's definitely something there. I met my boyfriend and now fiance during a lockdown, or at least towards the end, because I remember our first date was in a proper restaurant, so that must have been at the end of it all. I can attest that my experience with online dating was very enlightening, to say the least, and it gives me that overview that makes me one of the right people to give you an impartial feedback with both the negative and positive side of it all that I myself experienced. But one thing that you must remember is that experiences are personal at the end of it all, and as much as I will try my best to be objective in this matter, that still doesn't change the fact that I am expressing this from my perspective, and that still remain a subjective opinion. Okay, so here's my take on online dating. Just like any new development, change is mostly received with a bit of resistance, and that is because people always reject what they do not understand, and that is true about online dating as well, and there's some sort of negative judgment towards online dating, and in particular dating apps that make people generally uncomfortable. Some might even reserve a little judgment if they find that you have a profile on a dating app. But the dating headache affects us all, and especially if you have been in the longest relationship and now find yourself single and completely clueless to what the dating culture is about. And the only option is to try and create a profile on a dating app. As for instance, for me, my story was I came to England coming from an African country, Malawi, and it was a new setting. I didn't know anyone, and obviously it was COVID. No one was going anywhere. People were not socializing, and that was the only way that I could meet people, because I was in a new country. I didn't know anyone. Who am I going to meet? I cannot just walk in a bar and just alone. So that really left me with no choice, if you know what I mean. So during this time, I was on dating apps. I had profiles everywhere. I mean, I tried Hinge, I tried Plenty of Fish, I tried Bumble, I tried Tinder, which I must say was at that time was my favorite. What else? I don't know. I think those are the only ones that stood out, or that still stay, because that I still remember. I don't know how many times I downloaded and deleted Tinder and Hinge, because I think those were my favorite apps, or those were the only apps that I found potential partners that I could actually stand, or I could actually see any interest in, so to speak. But I deleted them, and I created so many new accounts because of how frustrating it was to always find yourself hitting a wall each time. It just gets so ridiculous to the point where you think something must be wrong with you. I mean, think of it this way, okay? You're presenting your best self. What you believe is the most attractive qualities, or the most attractive side to you, and that alone makes you vulnerable. And still, you can't seem to find that perfect partner that complements you even after you've brought out your best qualities. So you go on dates, you look and you smell nice, and you just present yourself for these potential partners to sweep you off your feet, but still nothing sticks. And the worst pain is to find someone you think is perfect, and you are just dazzled by them. You've had the best time of your life, and finally you think to yourself, yes, the shoe finally fits. And then, radio silence. You never hear from them again. And my friend, you've just been ghosted. Let's just say I have never known pain in my life like that of being ghosted. It's the worst kind of pain because it feeds off your insecurities, and I pride myself of being confident, and I am not necessarily insecure, but that doesn't mean that I think I am perfect. Far from it. But I just don't have receptors for it. I am who I am, and I accept and I approve of who I am, and I believe that to my core, in my core. And it makes me one of the least insecure people, I'm sure. However, being ghosted is an experience that leaves you so vulnerable. All your insecurities left bare for the whole world to see, and worst still, you never get any closure as to why someone that you really liked and thought had a connection with didn't feel the same way. And this makes you feel stupid, maybe used, all that stuff, and you just get so angry, and guess where that anger is directed at yourself. And you are angry at yourself for not keeping your guard up. You blame yourself for taking a chance of love. You judge yourself for not being good enough, even though you did present your best self to this person, but still they didn't find you good enough. So I have never stalked anyone in my life, or stalked anyone who ghosted me really, or anyone at all. But I'm sure most people do that. They would start stalking others. Just this is the obsession that comes with rejection. You want to find closure by proving to yourself that you can still get them back and make them feel how they made you feel. You want them back not because you want them to apologize, or you want to start a family with them and make things up, or no. You want to make them feel how they made you feel. You can either decide this knowingly or unknowingly, it doesn't matter. But that is just a standard human response. Additionally, it might either be that, or you're obsessed because now that you know you can't have them, or they're now out of your reach, that is a moment that their value now rises even higher. You even want them more, because human nature, we want things that we can't have, because as I said, we as people gravitate towards things that bring us pain, suffering, and just anything that lowers your vibration. Really, you just want it. So going through that experience of being ghosted really drops your levels of confidence. And it doesn't matter who you are. I don't care if you are Miss World or Miss Universe or whatever, but everyone, and I mean everyone, has insecurities. It's what makes us human. All the imperfections. Everyone has imperfections, whether they show them or not. It just is. So if you find yourself wanting to have an experience and looking for a partner and looking to join dating apps, I will give you a few pointers, a few tips that I myself wish I knew before joining dating apps and online dating. And it is my hope that you will miss all the unnecessary heartbreaks that I myself went through before I changed my whole strategy. And this works because I'm engaged now, so it's been proven, it's been tested, and it works. First tip, have an open mind to what you want to experience. The mistake most people make is to already have an end goal in mind to what exactly they want or they expect from the dating app. 9 times out of 10, they want to meet a perfect partner the very first swipe and live happy ever after. This approach leaves you vulnerable and open to attract the exact opposite of what you are looking for. It's almost too easy for nature to disappoint and frustrate you and knock you off that high horse. Trust me. Second tip, drop the level of importance that you have attached to whomever you have matched with, you have liked, planned to meet with, whether on a date or just hit it off on the phone, and you really think you have something to work with. It's a trap. I repeat, do not let your feelings of desperation and loneliness cloud your judgment and drop your guard. Do not do that. Only do that when you are at least 80% sure it's safe to do so. As for me, is when my now fiance asked me to be his girlfriend at that time, and that is when I gradually, and the keyword there being gradually, let my guard down. Okay. Third tip, and I think this is the most important one. I should have I should have obviously put it in the first, but anyway, you forgive me. Heal. First, heal before you decide to get yourself in a dating app. I cannot stress enough how important this is. Almost all the people, okay, that I interacted with while on these dating platforms, these dating apps, the majority of them were victims and were still in mourning, and I mean almost all of them had a sob story to tell at how horrible the ex was. Okay? This is my free advice. Do not engage. That is a huge red flag. That is proof that that person is not or has not yet healed at all and is looking for someone to fix them up. I'm trying to avoid the word rebound because that's not really it. They are looking for a pick-me-up, a solution, someone to make them forget. They are looking for an escape, a quick fix, a painkiller. Yes, that's more like it, a painkiller. So, you know what, maybe I should just mention this, okay? Because we all choose these experiences that we want to experience for our own individual growth. And if you choose to sympathize with someone who is seriously going through difficulties, say they're going through an emotional turmoil, and you feel compelled to get close to them and be there for them, I won't be the one to tell you you shouldn't do that. Do what you think is best for you. But at the same time, just be ready to face the consequences when they come, because they will come. And how those consequences will manifest, I do not know. But every choice that you make today has a corresponding consequence. Just because you think and believe you've done a noble cause, don't think for a second that you can't face any consequences. Every action, whether good or bad, will have a consequence. That's just cause. That's just a cause and an effect, or what we commonly know as karma. Okay, so you will either get good karma or bad karma, whether you think what you did was good or bad. Why do you think bad things happen to good people? Why do you think bad things happen to good people too? It's because no one is safe. Everyone is fair game in this game of life. Remember, no good deed goes unpunished. So going back to number 3 as to why I'm stressing that you should heal first. Well, it's simple. You do not want to bring all your unresolved baggage that you thought you've left behind along with your previous relationships. It's so easy to keep dragging them along with you, because most problems that arise in any type of relationship are only reactions or effects to a cause that both of you fail to resolve. So even when you leave a relationship, for instance, the cause still remains with you, and unless you address and resolve the cause, the same effects will always manifest everywhere you go. You will carry this load with you, and it will manifest in all your future relationships. The problem is not really the person that you are, or you've chosen to be with. There is simply a projection, an effect manifesting from a cause that exists within you. So it's not you, it's me speech has never been more true. And so what I advise you is to take as much time as you need to heal from your past relationships, because the majority of people will feel pressured when they see an ex has moved on and quickly. And it is, truthfully, a painful feeling which you genuinely want to get rid of. You just want it to stop. You want it gone as fast as possible. So you move on for the sake of moving on. just to prove to yourself or the world that you have moved on, and you're basically over them. But you do this at your own peril, because some things you really can't force. If you're not ready, you're not ready. Try to stay away from dating apps, period, for that time being. Because all you will find on them is more pain. The same pain that you're trying to escape from will follow you until you figure it out. If you want to hear more tips, how I managed to get off dating apps in general and got this from him, then catch me in my next video. Stay safe.